then I can pass it on.
All
All right,
right.
so welcome. So Brittany, welcome to the company. So this is
Thank
basically
you.
one of your first kind of meetings, or you're
Yeah, I
going to be,
just started last Monday, so this is completing my second week.
well, welcome to the family. It's a great company. I've merged in with my company with Dan several years ago, and I've been very happy and satisfied with it. So thank you for being here, and thank you guys for just your development. So we will just turn the time over to you guys for your presentation, and kind of enlighten us if there's anything new in regards to business development, how we get on these teams, what type of percentages, commissions, all that type of stuff kind of goes. So go ahead and take it away, please.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Inga Maya Pulowski. I joined the organization back in December, sort of still during COVID, and so I come from a background in corporate relocation, and so the referrals and everything very new to me. So kind of hit the ground running and started doing the ETeam and managing that. And so I'm going to share my screen and can you disable?
Yep, I will get you to depend, right? I can make you a host, I guess is what I can do right there, because rename multi-allowed, of course, and stuff, make host. So I'll just make you the host, and you can share whatever screen you want.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so you guys see the flyer?
Yeah, just watch out if you see, because I may not be able to let her in, but if Sarah comes here, Sarah will be here shortly. So kind of watch your waiting room if I don't see it on my side.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
we see the flyer.
all right. So we are the Select Business Development Group, and we're located in the Citrus Heights branch office. And specifically, the ETeam is about, we manage several sources of third-party web referral platforms that we've partnered with, specifically OpCity, which is Realtor.com, and Ojo Labs, and they're partnered with Realogy, which is in New Jersey. And so through both of these platforms, we receive on the regular web leads that have been vetted before they are released out to an agent in the area that the client is looking. And so when these referrals come over, the agent is being provided with their contact information, their price point, if they've been pre-approved, what area they are looking in, and quite possibly a property that they've seen online that they would like more information about. And so we have agents throughout both Northern California, our branch offices in Northern California, and also in Northern Nevada. And so we definitely are looking for more coverage up in the foothills where you guys are. And right, foothills, right? You guys are foothills. Valley of the Pines. And so they come over via live transfer, or sometimes they come via a text, and it's basically speed to lead. So the faster you are at accepting the text message and receiving the live transfer, you'll then be connected with the client to begin servicing their needs. And hopefully the main objective is to get them pre-qualified if they aren't already, and then schedule an appointment to meet with them to start taking them around and looking at properties. So the leads are scrubbed to some effect, and then the contract with our provider is that there's a 24-month period where if you do continued business with that client, or that client refers you to friends or families or coworkers, if they refer you to anybody that they may know, you still owe a referral on that referral from the main referral. for 24-month period. After the 24 months, if you are still connected with that client for future business, that client becomes part of your sphere of influence and your portfolio of clients. And then you don't owe a referral fee to the web source, which is a third party. The referral is a 40% referral fee and a 50-50 split. And if any of the agents are interested after the call, just feel free to reach out to our department, Inga Maya Pawlowski at selectbusinessre.com. I'm trying to remember my email. And so we can share with you the master referral agreement that has examples of the referral breakdown. We do have an accountability process for updates from the agents, and Tim is aware of this as well. He's on the ETeam, and so the updates are to the referral source based on their timeline, and then we have a main database that we house all of our referrals in this department in, and so then updates are also required in that platform so that our department is made aware of what's going on with the client. And then so we help manage with the agent from point of contact throughout the course of the relationship, and then to contract pending, and then through close, to just kind of help them manage that process behind the scenes as it pertains to information about the client and the closing and any delays, and then processing the referral fee to the third party source. So the application process is we have a 2-page application that we ask the agent to complete and provide us with some information of how long they've been doing real estate, and if they've done the client select for success training, as well as having the agent, if they have already or are going to have a conversation with your Stanford loan contact for your branch, so that the agent can possibly extend additional service through Stanford Mortgage to the clients who may be shopping for loans or may not have connected with a loan rep yet, so that they can get that started. Let's see. Right now, in today's market, obviously it's very competitive. Prices are going up. We get a caveat of price points coming through with leads from land parcels to mobile manufactured homes, single family homes. Partly in signing up with the ETeam, you are taking on a little bit of responsibility of speaking to clients who come through who may not know anything about what's going on in the real estate market, and they have a very low price point or have been qualified for a very low amount, and they just are not aware of what's happening in the market. And so oftentimes we'll reach out to agents for some there's an additional platform that we utilize through Rocket Homes, and we've been adding agents to that here and there. But we do have to call on our ETeam agents sometimes just to reach out to some of our clients that come through the platforms for an educational, it's more of an educational purpose to let the client know what's happening, maybe if they need to save more money or if they need to work on their credit, because as we all know, the market is just inflated right now with high prices. So a lot of people are coming through that may be priced out of the market. But on average, I think right now we have, let me ask Adrian. Adrian, how many pendings do we have? We have 46 pendings right now, and that's California and Nevada combined, and those are web leads. So we have a successful track record, and it does take some work. But as long as you want to, put in the time and help people, it's a great opportunity. Any questions? Another aspect of our department is broker-to-broker referrals, which is managed by Elvia Santiago in our department. It's an opportunity for, if you guys weren't aware of the, if you have friends or family or other clients who may be moving out of the area, it's an opportunity to capture business, to refer them to our preferred network of agents and brokers that we partner with throughout the country. And so we're able to, and the link for the broker-to-broker form is in our signatures, and if I can send that to you, Eric, after the call to share with the team. But it's a great way to continue business throughout the preferred network throughout the United States and the other brokerages that we partner with, and then. So if you fill out that form for a friend or a family member or another client, or say a client's family member who needs to get connected with a good agent in a different city or state, you can send that form through our department, and Elvia will find an agent in our network to begin working with that client. And there is a compensation for that as well. And I don't normally speak to that, but if you have more questions, you can contact Elvia. Her number is 916-536-4242. She's really good at what she does, and she knows how to find agents in all areas. So let's see. I think that's pretty much all I have. For now, if anyone's interested, I can, I'll send you, Eric, the application and the master agreement for you to pass along with the link for the broker-to-broker referrals.
Okay, thank you. I do, let's see if Sarah is, I do like that. I want to make a comment in regards to, oh, can you, is Sarah there in the waiting room on your side? Do you see her waiting room? Waiting room.
Waiting room. Where's the waiting room?
Here, go ahead and I don't know. Can you give me back the host, or is that?
Oh, here. There we go.
Yeah, you can give me. There we go. So you give
there
me.
We go. And then I'm not sure
Sarah.
how. Oh, hi, Sarah. Not sure how I think you can take it back from me.
We will see. Rename, mute. No, if I actually go up to, if you can go up to click my name, if you click my name and then just put make host again.
Okay. There we go.
All right. So I do want to make a comment in regards to the outbound referrals. It's really easy to forget that you gave a referral to someone and you just kind of forget about it a couple months later or whatever it might be. And so the track record that you guys speak of is important, because I think I used to know percentages of what you guys used to do of landing these, getting them, and you just kind of, if I give you guys a lead, I know you guys are working it. I know you guys are calling them and calling the agent, giving an update. I know there's an email. Oops, I see Callie now too. There's an email that will pop in there. So that you send us, that you send the other agent, and then it kind of comes back to me saying, yes, lead is still active. Yes, lead is still active. So, it's important to just have that, because we get so busy that if I go call somebody in Oregon and say, here, take this lead, how many times do I actually follow up on that person to see even if they even closed? How many times have I actually receive a lead and then I forget who I even got that lead from?
Right.
it's not really fun, Sarah, when you close a transaction and then all of a sudden they come calling saying, oh yeah, you owe $4,000, to the referral that you just spent that money. So,
Yeah, so we kind of
so
take kind of the brain work out of having to do that. We enter the referral into our system, the main database, and Elvia tracks that and follows up with the broker that it was placed with, and then also with the broker who placed the broker to broker referral. So she's very staying on top of it, and as soon as they're under contract, she's updating your office and the broker who placed the broker to broker, and following up on the fee and getting the check. So
one thing too is that I don't know how much information you want to give about Cardis, but what is Cardis?
So Cardis is a third-party relocation company who is owned by Realogy. Realogy is a large company I actually worked for. I was a relocation consultant at Cardis for 17 years. And so Realogy is part of their retail business is Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Sotheby's, what are you saying, Adrian? So they Better Homes and Gardens, they own their whole retail side. And then what our relationship is with Cardis right now is they work with us on placing relocation referrals for their corporate clients who have employees who are relocating and maybe selling their home or purchasing their home. And so those referrals are actually handled by Adrian Karen, our relocation director, on the ETeam. And that's something different from the ETeam. And so if Eric, if you wanted her to maybe come on another call, one of your weekly calls, she can speak specifically to the ETeam and how agents can be added to that. Yeah.
But I wanted you to share that because I want people to understand that when there's not very many companies that actually have this Cardis designation, is that what you call it? That they don't have Cardis, because Cardis is kind of expensive and there's a lot of volume that the company has to do. So the large companies will have it. So when you go to a listing presentation or you are, in a listing presentation, that's another piece that you can use if it comes up that we belong to this company or this organization called Cardis, where we get all these relocations. So it's a lead source where we're getting these leads coming in through our relocation department. So you can share that with you, and especially some of you who are new, just saying, oh yeah, we got a wonderful relocation department that feeds us leads, and that they get all these leads and they spend thousands of dollars a year generating these leads back for our company to be able to then come back to you into your listing and come back to our homes and come back to buyers to be able to then come in and see your house. So you guys can utilize that. There's probably some piece or something that we can do of some marketing piece that we can do too. But I've used that in my listing presentations though before as well.
Yeah, and Cardis is just one of the third-party relocation partners that we are within the national network of preferred brokers. Other relocation companies such as Grable, Serva, there's a whole bunch of third-party relocation companies that we service. Realogy, we work mainly with them on all types of referrals. We have there's Navy Federal Credit Union. There's a whole bunch of different programs that go through the ETeam and our relationship with Realogy that are different referral incentive programs that Realogy offers throughout the nation. And so as a preferred broker, Century 21 Select and Coldwell Banker Select, we are part of Realogy's umbrella of preferred broker network. And so that in itself is really big and a good selling point when you are working with your clients who may need to refer a family member or a friend or a colleague who is moving to another location, but they don't know any agents and they want to be paired with someone who is going to give them stellar service. And oftentimes, if we do get referrals or cold calls into the office, we're very conscientious to ask the customers, especially if they use language like, oh, I'm moving for my job. We will often preface the conversation by saying, oh, are you receiving any relocation benefits through your company? Because we want to be very careful that we're not overstepping or jeopardizing their benefits that they're receiving from their company, so that we can educate them that, and they may be so excited that they're moving, but they haven't talked to their company or they haven't gotten in touch. If they're getting a relocation consultant, there's a lot of rules that they may have to follow as a relocating employee who may be receiving relocation benefits from their company. And so what we do in that instance, we say, okay, well, once you talk to your consultant, your relocation consultant, let them know that you have spoken with Century 21 Select or Coldwell Banker Select, and we'd be happy to, participate as one of your assigned brokers in that process. So, Adrian can talk a bit more about the ETeam and the structure based on my experience as a relocation consultant. The relocation referrals on the sales side come through where we have been requested as one of two brokers for the customer to meet with, and during that appointment, each agent is compiling information and presenting a marketing plan to the homeowner to then complete a report, which is called a broker market analysis, and we call it BMA for short. And this provides all kinds of data and information about the current market conditions, and then the agent provides a most likely a suggested list price and a most likely sales price based on the current market conditions. And then after that, typically the agent then does a review, or the customer has a review with their consultant to determine which agent they preferred and had a connection with. And as you all know, it's really about making that connection and how you present the marketing materials in a cohesive way that some homeowners are more savvy than others and some need a bit more hand-holding. So after that review, the customer selects which agent they would like to award the listing to. And then the two brokerages who were vying for the business are contacted. And we do have a lot of stellar ETeam agents who do win those listings in the areas that we are contacted for. And then we also get contacted for relocation buy side, if the customer is moving into an area and they need help, getting to know the area and help purchasing a home. So, and again, tied to their benefits. So that's a little snippet.
No, thank you. I like that that those who work closer up into Penn Valley with the Air Force Base up there have there's a lot more that action that goes on up there versus Auburn or something. But I know you guys can discuss a little bit about you mentioned, I love it, the speed to the lead, and I know that's important because let's say we have this group of people, we're all on this ETeam right here, and Tim gets a text and says, hey Tim, here's a lead. And if Tim is unavailable or showing a house and didn't see the text or didn't call, I think it's 5 minutes. Is that what it is?
One of our platforms, it's 10 seconds.
10 seconds. Okay, that's fast. I know Sarah just sits on her phone like this the whole day.
Right.
Perfect.
So when we enroll an ETeam agent, we are happy to do a Zoom and kind of walk once they've enrolled in the platforms and registered on eRelocation, which is the main database. We do like to take the time to with a soft touch and visual aids are always really helpful. And so we can do a Zoom call with the agent or a group of agents to walk them through the platforms so that they feel comfortable and understand how to do the updates and communicate through the platforms. And then we always suggest that you designate a specific ringtone and text tone for each platform. They each have text codes. And so I know sometimes we get in the habit of silencing our phone when we're in meetings and whatnot. But when you're on the ETeam, you do want that ringer on and you want to be able to hear that. You do have the ability to, if you are going to be showing homes or you have a in-depth meeting with a client and you need to have uninterrupted time and you don't want to be penalized for not clicking on opportunities, you do have the ability to snooze yourself on both of the main platforms, realtor.com, which we call OpCity, and Ojo Lab. So they do have that ability. And then for us in our department and our ETeam agents, it's really about communication. So if you're going to be out for vacation or you need to take a pause, maybe because your own personal business portfolio is keeping you really busy, just let us know and we can put you on pause and we can, so that you're not receiving referrals during that time. Like I have an agent right now who's on vacation back east until August. So I'm just snoozing one of her accounts for her weekly. And she's maintaining her updates of her current portfolio with ETeam. So she's taking care of that, but she's not getting any, she's not being penalized for, being snoozed. On one of the platforms, you can sort of manage the time frame in which you'd like to receive. So we, recommend maybe from, 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., depending on your work-life balance. You can manage that. We don't do lease or rental leads. It's just home sale and home finding referrals. So when we onboard the agent, we're happy to walk, and Brittany's learning all this, and we're gonna, we can walk the agent through step by step what they need to do on each platform and how they can manage the updates. That's the biggest part of being on the ETeam. And so we have, there's an agent dashboard in the main database, and I emphasize incorporating that dashboard into your weekly business routine to stay on top and stay ahead of the referrals. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't just accept, you want to be accepting leads, but the more if you get too many, then it becomes unmanageable. And then you lose track of who's who. We don't want that to happen. It's fun. I'm enjoying working with all the agents and hearing all the stories, and the golden nuggets or the golden tickets referrals that happen to be out there. They do happen. They happened this week. We had an agent with a web lead get his client under contract for 1.3 in the Elk Grove area. So they are out there, but it is work. It does take the dedication and the commitment and the education for the people out there who want to own homes. They want that dream.
And I know some of us have different Gmail accounts or whatever, different emails, Hotmails, whatever, but you guys will be communicating through in our case, the Cornerstone email. So make sure you guys are watching that, the company email, because that's the one that they're using and that's the one that they're providing these leads through.
Yeah. And Adrian she did whisper in my ear. I think she got a confirmation that we're going to Summit. And she's hoping to have some breakouts. So in person, and we'll have some fun little giveaways. So it sounds like we're going. I don't know who's going, but more to come on that. But if we are going to be there, there will be presentations and breakout sessions about the ETeam and about the ETeam. We're always looking for more opportunity with new web platforms. So, to generate more referrals and more solid referrals.
Well, fantastic. Does anyone have any questions, specific questions for these two people that can answer anything you want on the ETeam, ETeam, all the teams, whatever team
Hopefully.
you're doing?
Good morning. I do. Did you, and sorry, I think I got stuck in the Netherland of the waiting room. Did you already talk about how someone does get onboarded, or what are the next steps to becoming part of the ETeam?
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll send Eric the agent application and the ETeam master referral agreement for 2021. That it's nice on that. It provides kind of a breakdown of all the costs that come out of the referral fee and kind of what the agent's left with out of pocket afterwards. And it talks about the expectations of the updates. And so we would just have the agent complete the application, and if they're ready to onboard, get the application signed by Eric, and then execute their portion of the master referral agreement and send that over to our department, either to Brittany or myself. I mentioned early on, Brittany, she just joined about 9 days ago, and she is going to be sitting in my seat once she's fully ready and prepared to manage the ETeam. And so we'll review the application and everything. And I know up in your area, Tim is currently on the team. I think that's it right now. And so. And then we can schedule, once the agent has onboarded to the various platforms, we can schedule a Zoom call to, go over how you do things. And usually I recommend that once you get your first referral, then we have something to work with and navigate through on the website. So we like doing that for the agents. We did that. We did that last week for a new agent in Folsom, and she found it very helpful. So.
Yeah, I'll just give you kudos that, I'm part of I get occasional relocation ETeam referral, and I think my check was $7,000 that I got the other day. So, so thank you. So and that was a lead that I never would have received or never would have went out and got. And so, yes, there's some commissions that go back and some referrals that go back to you guys, but
Yeah, we had Shea Canyon. He just got back from vacation in Mexico, and he walked in and he had a nice handful of envelopes and checks, fanning them off to us, saying thank you. So yeah,
it is. So there is money. It's about just having. The reason I wanted these ladies to be here today is to be able to show and let you know there's other avenues to make more money.
Yeah.
If I had more time, like if I were some of you that were new and I'm like, okay, what am I doing during my floor time? I would be blasting out to Facebook friends and Facebook family members all over the country saying, guys, just want you to know, just because I live here in Grass Valley doesn't mean I can't refer you to somebody. And I just want to introduce you. We have a referral department and a whole division that actually just send me the referral. If you're even thinking about moving to Tennessee or thinking about somewhere, feel free to just let me know. And in my referral department, we can get you a referral and get you a good agent. And so they've got a set of group of people that they work with across the country. And if they turn out to be a not so great agent, then they probably dump them out of their system. And if they're a great agent, they stick with them and they pass everything to those individuals. So can you just imagine? I guess I'm telling you guys, it's the best thing to do is you sit here and all of a sudden you get a referral check and you go, oh, I forgot that I even gave that referral people. So there was one Saturday afternoon when I was like showing like 6 different clients years ago. And I showed one house in Grass Valley, one house to this people just coming through the town, showed them one home. It was probably 30 minutes. Here you go, in between two busy clients. And I'm, and I just showed up. I go, you know what, this is it. Here you go. They say, you know what, thank you so much, but this isn't really probably the house for us, but I appreciate it. I referred out to where they ended up moving to, and I referred out of the condominium that they closed in the Bay Area, and I got 2 checks for that 30 minutes of just a couple $1,000s each side, and just thank you very much, just because I asked for the business. I said, and you guys need to know this, if they come up, you guys are going to spend your whole entire day, maybe several days. It's probably 3 or 4 people just this week that said, oh, I'm sorry, we're not moving there anymore. Okay, our plans have changed. We're going to move over here. We're moving out of state. Well, then you say, can I find, so I always ask people when they call me up and say, is this the only area you're looking for? And they go, no, we're actually looking in this county and over here. It says, do you have a relationship with an agent in those areas at this moment? And we need to do more of that, because we hope that they're going to buy here, and there's a great percentage that just don't do it. And so they end up buying somewhere else because either it's too expensive here or whatever it might be. And there you just lost out on a referral. So make sure you ask for that business and just say, is there another area that you are also looking at that I can refer you an agent to? And refer those out. So,
and that's what, and that specific, definitely just to the broker to broker business that we do, that Elvia manages in our department. I do want to discern that with the web leads, we are not able to refer a referral on the web leads. So if a client came through on a web lead and they, and there's more dialogue to this for another platform that we have, but specific like to Rocket Homes or to Realtor.com, which is OpCity, if a client changes destination, unfortunately, we can't refer them to another brokerage that is in our network. We would have to have that referral released back to the third party provider to which we received that referral. And then we would let in the notes, we'd let them know that their changed destination, need an agent in a different area. There is the platform that we have through Ojo Labs. If the person changes destination, we actually own those leads. They're being vetted through through our websites, Century 21 Select, Coldwell Banker Select, if people are clicking on those are coming through us to our department. So if that referral tells like an agent in Yuba City, I'm now looking in Chico, or I'm looking down in Sacramento, and they change, then that agent could contact our department and let us know, and then we could find another ETeam agent in Sacramento or Roseville, if they're looking down in this area, because that's kind of a trek from Chico or Yuba City to come all the way down here. We could change the agent to one of our agents on the ETeam in this area. So we can do that on that platform, but most of the other platforms, we don't own the referrals and they have to be released back to that provider.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Any other additional questions, you guys? Sarah?
I do. I always have questions. What is the kind of the general geographic area? So for example, I'm in Grass Valley. Would I be receiving leads all the way out in Chico or up to Redding, or is it kind of, is there?
No, you would, when you sign up for OpCity, the first platform, which is Realtor.com, we recommend you putting like a 25 to 30 mile radius from your branch location, and kind of test it that way. And then obviously up in your area, I kind of call like the Grass Valley, the Auburn, and where you guys are, it's a bit more boutique. It's, it's specific buyers, it's specific sellers. And so, but the the referrals do come through. I see them, but just not as often as I would see like Sacramento and Chico and Yuba City. It really depends on what's happening in the market. And then Ojo, you have the ability to put specific zip codes. And so we recommend whatever zip codes that you cover and feel comfortable working, and you know the market, then you can put as many as you want. Some agents, they love driving, they love going out, and so Ojo is a little bit more customizable to put specific zip codes. And with OpCity, it's mostly a radius from the branch office location.
Thank you.
Yeah. So.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sarah. Good question.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any additional questions? And we'll let these, if no, we will let these ladies take off and go back to making us all money.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys, and hopefully, some of us will see you at Summit. I don't know. All right.
So
Have
much.
thank
you.
you. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a great
you.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You too.
All right, so guys, I am going to welcome everyone. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to just touch on a couple little things here. Let's see, this one right here. There's the next week, maybe this week and next week, we'll talk about a little bit about setting some client expectations. And so I wanted to share a little bit. I think we've discussed this before, but some people maybe don't remember. That's right, it's underneath there, present. Do you guys remember my LP Mama? Yes. So Sarah's got a yes.
Yes, but it's always great
Yes.
for a review.
Okay, because yeah, I mentioned to Brooklyn the other day, and she couldn't remember us doing it, and so I wanted to make sure. I know some of you guys have been in there, but let's just go. Creating this expectation, because I got a lot of fun psychological things that been listening to a speaker and some things that were pretty amazing of how to basically, and it was part of it. He was this new sales home person, agent as well, and realized that he learned he could, it's about closing the lead. And there's a lot of, he wasn't really good at getting the lead, but then when he did new home sales, they walked into him and he had to learn how to close the lead. And so he's pretty outstanding. But we'll go through that too, and we'll get through the expectations of that. But I wanted to, the LP Mama is down here. All right,
Oh,
so
you just had it.
there we go. So the LP Mama basically, guys, was something that I want you guys, any time that a buyer comes through, because it is key to the lead, but it's also at the same time we need to understand what expectations and where these leads are going to be going and where they're coming from, and to help us not waste a bunch of money, help us send them off to, and I believe we still have our Stanford Mortgage gals in here, so we can discuss with that about mortgages and getting them pre-approved, because there'd be too many times. You guys are you'll probably already, I think I've already heard a couple people, you guys already called, and it's okay to call and gripe and complain to me. That's totally fine, because I'm, I need someone to call and gripe to and complain to too. So I might just call you one day and just say, hey, can I gripe a little bit for a minute? So, but it's when you spend, weeks and weeks and weeks with people, and then they just say, I'm not going to buy anymore. And it's just like, really? So, you just want to try to avoid, and some of these things on the LP Mama approach, you can avoid that. So I want you, if somebody calls me and I have my little notebook here, and if I'm sitting on the phone and immediately I'm just going, now I don't have to write this down anymore, but if when I was in training, I think it was Brooklyn or somebody was sitting in front of me one time and a lead came in, and I just go, just write LP Mama, just down, L, then P, then Mama, down, coming down. And then you start asking questions. So it helps you kind of guide yourself through the conversation to be able to kind of vet them a little bit more and understand kind of where they're coming from. So, and then you kind of pivot, you kind of you pivot from their answers. So let's say Sarah gets a call and they say, hey, and Jana calls Sarah, and Jana's the new buyer, and Sarah, she answers the phone and says, hey, how can I help you? And then Jana's going to say, yeah, I'm looking at a house in, let's just say Alta Sierra Drive. Now that's an easy one because we all probably know where Alta Sierra Drive is. It's in Alta Sierra. So when I'm actually jumping on the thing, and if they say like hidden something is some name, and I go, I have no idea where that street is, I'm immediately looking at either online or looking on Google or looking on my maps to see where that street is, so I can and then share with them a little bit more about that area. So if they call and they say, Jana wants to see this house in Alta Sierra Drive, immediately Sarah is so familiar with the whole entire neighborhood. So she goes, I know where Alta Sierra is. And so then you would, whether you know it or not, you want to ask and just say, hey, Jana, are you familiar with, 121 Alta Sierra Drive? Are you familiar with the area? And if Jana says, oh yeah, I'm totally familiar with the area, I live right around the corner. So now Sarah understands and goes, I don't really have to describe that area because she's familiar with it. But so I will start and say, great, are you familiar with the Grass Valley area? Yes, I am. Okay, great. So I don't have to really spend time with that. Are you familiar with the subdivision Alta Sierra? Yes, I am. Because then, oh, so you live around here? Yes, I do. But if you go back one step and they say, well, no, I'm not really familiar with Grass Valley, or I am, but I don't really know what Alta Sierra is. What is that? So that I stop right there and I communicate what Alta Sierra is all about there, and then I go back down into the street. It doesn't help me to discuss the street of Alta Sierra Drive, and maybe there's some busyness to that, and maybe it's you don't want to back out of your driveway or whatever it might be on certain locations, or it might be in snow country, under snow, over snow, wherever these people are calling from Nevada City down to flatland. But you kind of want to like pivot and say, where do I want to go? So I'll stop right there and I'll explain what Grass Valley is, and then what Alta Sierra subdivision is, and tell them the location where it's at, kind of get a pinpoint. Because then the next question I'm going to ask them is like, Jana, what are you doing for work? What brings you to Grass Valley? And this is something really key, that if they say anything about family, grandkids, our relatives live there, those are the ones that you want to put on the top of your list, because eventually they're going to want to be with their grandkids and their family members. If they just say, what looks like, I had one a couple months ago, it just looks kind of like a fun place to live. Have you ever been to Grass Valley before? No, but it just looks kind of a fun place to live. So, in some, how much time do I really want to spend on that? Again, never judge people from the first conversation of like, oh, this is going to be a waste of a time. Because I told my wife that in the car the other day. I said, why are we, and she drove with me like 6 months ago. Why are we driving to Placerville? This is a waste of a time. This is so not the house that they've been describing. And they wrote the offer. So Shannon's all, say, I told you, so anyway, so you never know what will end up happening. But, so the locations, you want to like discuss the location, help them understand. So if they say, I'm calling, because here in those who are in Lake of the Pines, Jana, if somebody calls about Lakeshore North, and Auburn has an Auburn address, Lake of the Pines is an Auburn address, but people often don't understand that a Lakeshore North, a Torrey Pines, they think it's in an Auburn address. They think it's close to Auburn. And so you want to explain, are you familiar that this house is located in Lake of the Pines? No, what is Lake of the Pines? See, now instead of just talking about pinpointing the street of what Torrey Pines is and pinpointing the house, I don't immediately go straight in and start telling Jana all about the house on Alta Sierra Drive, Torrey Pines. I just go, great, tell me a little bit about you, and tell me a little bit about what, the location of where you're looking for. So I want to know what that is. And this is where I'm going to ask them too, is this the only location? Are you looking at, you said you're looking in Grass Valley. Are you looking anywhere else around the country? And you ask them right here, and they'll say, yes, I'm also looking for here. Because if you do it later when they actually drive up here, because I've had that before where they drive up and they're on the little road trip, they show up, I show them 5 or 6 homes and say, okay, great, you headed back down to the Bay Area? No, we're headed up to Marysville now, and we're going to look at homes there. And then after Marysville, we're headed up to a little hill up to Shasta, and we're going to look at homes up there. But they've already set their appointments already up with the agents at that point, so it's too late. But if I'm on the phone with them and about Grass Valley, then I say, hey, Jana, are you looking at other places around California? Yeah, we're going to look at Marysville, and we're going to look at Shasta. Great. Have you do you have a relationships with those agents yet? Oh, no, you're my first call. Okay. And then you just go, oh, that's so much fun. Because I kind of say this a little bit in a sense where, yeah, just like you're calling me, and this is just a kind of a cold call. You found me by, how'd you find me? And they said, well, we found you on Yelp and da da da. I said, but would you really want to go do that same thing and go vet a bunch of agents and call agents to see if you have a good relationship up in Marysville and Yuba City? What if I just, handle that myself, because our offices are up that direction. We have good agents up there, and I can set those referrals for you and have them give you a call, so you don't have to spend all that time looking for a good agent. Because if who knows if you're going to find a good agent? You might find, just not a good agent, and you'll have a bad experience. So why don't you let me as a professional help you find another professional, because I know the questions and I know what that I would be looking for to be able to help place that for you. Would you mind me doing that, Jana? I'm waiting for Jana's answer. Jana's gonna say, sure. So does that make sense?
You did that.
So, because they would be grateful for you to actually find some other agent, so they don't have to go do it. And then if they say, yes, please, then I would go, okay, great. And this is going a little deeper on the LP Mama, but then I would say, great, I'll find that agent for you. And then we're going to discuss that down below about the timing too, of when they're going to be coming. Because then you want to set that up. Too many time we actually just get off the phone and get all excited that we're going to send them home. So then we forget to get some other crucial information. So any questions about location? No. All right, so we're going to get into price. Let's say they called you on the Alta Sierra home was $700,000. And so Jana pulls it up really quick and goes, oh, 700. Or she might pull it up and go, 99,000. This is a piece of dirt. It's a lot. Then you lose excitement. Well, I will tell you right now that several of my land buyers that I didn't really have super excitement to go out and start tromping on property. And I know Sarah, I think, was out looking on land and walking in her high heels and chomping through the weeds and the bushes and all sorts of crazy snakes.
They're hiking heels.
You did hiking heels. Yes.
Hiking heels.
Hiking heels. So, it's like, I will tell you, these land people have actually realized how expensive it is to build on land. And so they're just now reverting back to houses. So, which is nice. So just because you get a land, don't just push them off. Don't just go, oh, great, and kind of ignore them, because if you do, then all of a sudden they're going to call you up and, say, oh yeah, we bought a house, it's like, oh, you bought a house. I thought we were looking for land. And then you're going to feel really bad. I don't want you guys to have those conversations, but if they call on this, Jana calls on this house at $700,000, and you go, great. And then I'm going to start talking about, is this your general price range that you want to be in? Do you want to be in this price range? Yeah, well, we're kind of feel like we're more comfortable between the 4 and the 500, but this one caught our eye because it has a pool and we're so excited. So not sure if we can afford it or not, but but we're just so excited. We just want to come see it because we just want to see this pool, and it just looks so amazing. And say, okay, so you feel more comfortable, and we're going to get into the mortgage side of it too. But I'd like to say, I just want to know what price point they are. And I also want to share with that. So if Tim calls me and says, hey, Eric, I want, to know about this property. And I go, oh, so it's $700,000. And I go, yeah, do you what kind of, and you guys will get to know kind of what monthly payments are and kind of what down payment, and get a kind of an idea. But if somebody calls me and they say, if they call me on a lower property and Tim calls and goes, yeah, I'm looking at this $250,000 home. I said, great. So what kind of like price point, are you looking? Oh, 250, 200, 250. It says, well, what payment are you looking at wanting to stay around? What's comfortable for you, Tim? And Tim might say, well, I want the $800. And I'll go, okay, so you must have a lot of down payment then. Oh, no, I don't have any money. So you're starting to kind of like build this picture in your head going, wow, and I'll ask some small questions before I refer them over to Kaylee and Treya. And I'll kind of want to know a little bit about, because I'll give them. So the more information I get, so Kaylee and I are sharing some information about our buyers recently, where Kaylee will have a conversation. She'll share, hey, Eric, did you know? And I'll go, hey, Kaylee, did you know? And, hey, Kaylee, do you know this person's psycho? And so Kaylee, hey, stand clear. I went out, so I mean, you kind of, at least you can help each other understand kind of where we're coming from. But if somebody tells me that, yeah, we want to stay around $1,000 and we have no money, can I even buy a house right now for $1,000 a month payment? It's just not going to happen. So there are times where I'm on grab, go, well, I'm just trying to be helpful, but I'll get on to to realtor.com and I'll look at the map and I'll put $200,000 and under, and I'll go, yeah, we have one house that's a burnt down house in Grass Valley. So then I'll scroll way up here to Oregon House and then way up here to Placerville. So, well, there are 3 or 4 of them up here that might look appealing to you. So I'm trying to at least guide them and help them understand where a $200,000 house you can even afford that or even have one around here. So I want to talk price. I want to understand where they're coming from on price. Okay. Questions about price? Motivation. So, M for motivation. I want to know, I'll go, hey, Allie, thanks so much for calling. So what brings you to Grass Valley?
I saw an article and it looks like a nice place to live.
Oh, cute, Allie. That's very good. So I'll say, so Allie, you've ever been to, what brings you? So that's great. It's great. But have you ever been to Grass Valley?
One time.
One time? Yeah. That happens a lot, guys. There's a lot of people that come through, visit, and then about 20 years later, they want to retire. And this is an area that they like, and they kind of come back. So I might ask Al a little bit about the motivation. I'm looking for, is there a job transfer? I'm looking for, is there family that is bringing you this direction? She just said, hey, it's just an article. I found this ad. It looked kind of a nice, home. If that's the case where Allie's stating that to me, the reason why they're choosing Grass Valley is probably because it's more affordable than a lot of other areas. So now I'm understanding that this is going to be something where now I'm going to direct Allie and say, what other areas, which I already know, she already told me she was going to look here, look there. She's just looking for something affordable to move to. So I talk about their motivation, talk about their timing. I want to know, is this something that I love it when they say, oh yeah, this could be 5 or 10 years down the road. This is a long term. So then I'll share stories about, what, I'm totally good with that. I'm so happy that you called me, Allie, because I want you to realize that this is what I do for a living. So I never want you to call up and say, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I never want you to actually not call me when you're coming into town next to Grass Valley because you don't want to bother me because you might be buying in 2 to 4 to 5 years down the road. I want you to be giving me a call anytime you come to town because I want to go out and actually show you 1 or 2 homes every time you come, just so even though Allie, that you're looking maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, just in case, just so you can get to know kind of the market, where the pricing is. Maybe we'll start getting to know that, generating the location. And so then when you get to that point in, years down the road, and you go, wow, this is what I kind of want. Now we'll pinpoint kind of the location, price, area, and now we'll be able just to build that relationship. So please, Allie, give me a call anytime. I'm totally here. This is what I do for a living. Did you guys catch all that, what just happened there? So now it's like, oh, I hate when I didn't want to call. Sorry, Jane, I didn't want to call because I didn't want to bother you because I know you're really busy. And so, because, it just will happen. So what if all of a sudden Allie comes to Grass Valley and I show her the house and she goes, well, she tells me 4 or 5 years down the road, and she walks into this home that has a beautiful creek and it's coming down, and all of a sudden she goes, wow, this is just everything I wanted. I think I'm going to buy it now. It's happened to me. Totally happened to me. And then I'll share stories about other people. I always want to put in perspective and say, you know what? I just had the Joneses that we just closed a house last month that they took 3 years to buy a house here. And it wasn't because that I couldn't find them a home. It was because it was a similar situation that you just shared with me. They weren't ready to retire yet, and but their family was up here. So every time they came for a holiday, Christmas, whatever it might be, I took them out and showed them some homes and just kept our relationship moving. And we just closed their house last month. So what you just did is you just put Allie and my other client in the same, kind of realm where they said, I like Eric. Because I've had people go to me, oh, thank you so much. That makes me feel so much better because I felt like I was going to waste your time. I'm not buying right now. I said, no worries. And so I share that story with them, and just so they can relate it, that I'm a relatable person and I have these experiences in the past. And when I sell those homes to those individual people, I will tell them on Yelp, I will say, I need you to write in there that we started looking at homes 3 years ago but you weren't planning on moving because you weren't quite there to retire yet. But Eric worked with me for 3 years. Every time we came up, I want you to put that in that Yelp review. And they go, okay, that totally makes sense. Just don't say, oh, Eric's this, Eric's that. I want the specific story in there, because you will get people who will say, I'm calling you because I see that you just helped another person sell their mother's house who just passed away, and I have the same situation. Okay, so you want them to break those down into individual stories for the emotional part of it so they can actually connect with you. Okay, motivation. Anything on motivation? All right, so agent relationships. this gets really good. I've had some lady, are you working with an agent? No. All right, I'll go over there. I'll go show you some homes. I showed her some homes over there in Meta Vista area. And then we're sitting there going through the home. It's very weird. She wouldn't give me eye-to-eye contact. She wouldn't really talk to me. She was just kind of weird, kind of looking through the house. And I said, okay, great. And she goes, well, thank you. I'll have my husband get back to you. Oh, okay. So, your husband is, does he want to come see it? Oh, no, he's my agent. And you told me you weren't working with an agent, but your husband's an agent. That was kind of hard to kind of forget that your husband's an agent. And so I kind of was a little snooty. I was like, but they never bought, they never bought anything, at least for me anyway. So I always want to know, it says, okay, hey, Tim, thanks so much for calling about this home in Grass Valley. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for sharing all this information with you. And I just want to check in with you though, that I'm willing to commit to find a home for you. But I wanted to say, are you working, or do you have a working relationship with an agent in Grass Valley yet? Or what's your situation? Nope, you're my first call. Oh, that's great. And then I want to know that. And I'll tell them a little bit about how things work. If they're, I'm already discussing, I already built rapport of, are they a first-time home buyer? I've already asked them that question. I'm already, because I don't go through and just go boom, 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 boom. I don't break it down. I want to say, oh, so what brings you to Grass Valley? Oh, we saw a sign. Yeah, that's great. Is this your first home that you guys are looking at? Or you have children? You bringing kids? Is it, so I'm having these conversations before I just go the next one, so it doesn't sound so scripted. And so I'm asking, if they say nope, I'm not working with anybody, and I already know they're a first home buyer, so now I'm going to explain a little bit how Zillow works. I'm going to explain how realtor.com works. I'm going to explain that I'm sending you some emails through my system, and I'd like to communicate through that system. And you certainly can use any system that you want, but when you go through mine that I'm going to send you, when you communicate in there, or you put a heart next to one of the homes, I immediately see that there's a heart next to that home, so I can give you a call, and I know what you kind of look and what you're looking for. So then when Tim, you come up to look at homes in Grass Valley, you just say, hey, Eric, I just want to look at the homes that I put hearts to, the ones I saved. Great. And that gives me my 5 or 6 homes that I'm going to be able to show Tim when he comes into town. And so it kind of helps understand. Sarah, I love that.
What is that system that you use that puts hearts by the homes?
To find them the homes? So that's my CRM system. So that is the Chime that I'm using. You guys could certainly use, MetroList has a great search engine. You can go in and, I don't know, Allie, you guys putting people on drip systems, Jana, in the MLS?
Yeah, I like, it's hard because I like the visuals of the snap more, but MetroList is easier to use.
Yes,
so I kind of bounce
agree.
between both.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to find, and that's what I used MetroList for years and years until I found something that I felt more comfortable with. And that's the only reason why is because before you guys were even in real estate, there used to be 2 boards, Nevada and Placer. And so they didn't share their data. And so I would have to put this crazy 2 searches. Well, I'll have to put you on, Nevada search. Oh, and also put you in the Placer County one too, because they don't. And then I'll go, oh, by the way, if we list your house, I've got to put it in, I got to input it in Nevada, and I got to input it in there. So you will have 2 MLS numbers. I mean, it was just crazy how much work that we had to do. So when you find the snap, or you find something that you like, I liked it because now when they click on my homes, I'm kind of more in control. They're not going to all of a sudden when they're in MetroList jump off and go on some tangent, and all of a sudden they're now on somebody else's house, and now on some, Brooklyn is all of a sudden getting a call from them because they didn't want to bother Eric because Eric was really busy. So I am setting the expectation right now saying, great, I am going to commit to you, Tim, and I would want you to commit to me. We are going to build this agent relationship, client relationship. So I'm kind of sharing that with them in a nice, polite way that I'm spending time with you. You're gonna give me a call if you see anything through Zillow, my site, realtor.com, whatever you see, you will call me. Are you good with that, Tim? And I was a little bit blunt, but I mean, you almost want to get that blunt with them to say, would you mind just giving me a call? That's how I would ask. If you see any of these homes, would you mind giving me a call? Because maybe if they're a first-time home buyer, I'm gonna say, look, I just want you to know, because if they're a young first home buyer, they have no idea. They're scared to death. They think that, that they're going to have to like pay you. They're going to like, how am I going to, do I need to pay you? How does the compensation work? They don't even understand how the compensation works. So do I need to retain you? Do I need to sign something? If anybody ever says, do you need me to sign something? Yeah, I'll send you the broker buyer agreement right now. And so you want to like, anybody brings it up, you do, but I want to share with them and say, oh, by the way, Allie, thanks so much for calling. I know this is your first home, and I just want you to know how the compensation kind of works. The seller pays me, so feel free, call me as much as you want. Don't feel like, oh, I'm, how am I going to pay Eric? It doesn't happen that way. The seller pays for the commissions. I just would like you to commit to me as much as I will commit to you, because I'm going to spend a lot of time finding you homes. So while you're actually at work or at home, I'm going to be online looking on the computer, looking at homes that might best fit for you, looking at that, saying, oh, this one looks really good. And so that time, how I get compensated is just to have that relationship with you, that you have commitment to me, that if you walk into an open house, which I just saw this house closed in Lake of the Pines that my client bought because she didn't realize, even though she's 70 something years old, that I could have helped her. So again, I didn't think I had to say that to her because she's bought houses before, but at the same time, you see that I'm just a little jolted about that. It's freaking me out. They're one about, $8,000 of monies that I could have been in Hawaii. So, all right. So, oh, thank you. So anyway, agent relationships, I just like that. Now, what if all of a sudden Tim, or do I have Kaylee and stuff in here? We're going to get to you guys, Kaylee and Trey, so don't go to sleep on me. Okay. I'll get to you. So, what if all of a sudden you're sitting and I might be on the phone for like 8, 9, 10 minutes. And all of a sudden I get to the A, and all of a sudden Jana says, oh yeah, I'm working with Tony down the street. Oh, you mean like Tony Gonzalez? Oh yeah, Tony and I, we're good friends. He sold me many, many houses. So at that point, you get to the A kind of question. You don't actually have to go LP mama and get to the A. If you want to get to that kind of quicker, you're welcome to get to that. So it depends on your circumstances and your conversation. Just don't forget the ones above you. So you could do the motivation, after. But I would certainly say, because I got a call 6, 7 months ago from someone. I took their name down and I called Tony up as a courtesy. And I said, hey, Tony, just want you to know that Joan, somebody just called me about this property. You might want to give her a call. I'm being a team player inside the office just to, help spread the wealth. Because if this lady was able to call me just on this house, what's going to stop her from calling somebody down the street in a different company? And so then that's why I'm helping Tony call them and say, boom, boom. And Tony said, oh yeah, she's looking, I've got, so it gives them a touch or a reason why to call. So feel free to always do that. Okay. Do I have a more? Do we have a more? I don't have more. Something going. Is there a chat? Somebody in the chat? No, hello. Can I respond through chat? Oh, I can. Oh, okay, great, Treya. Great. So I want you to give in 1,000 words or less. I'm kidding. All right. So we got agent relationships there of where they're at. And if they say they have a relationship, that's great. I kind of tend to, and this is my little key point here, as I say, is your agent, are they sending you good homes that fit in the price range that you have expressed interest in? And that's a really big question. And again, I'm not going to try to go steal somebody's buyer, but I'm also going to just to let them know that there are other options and out there. So if they say, oh yeah, totally fine, Tony's great. Now, if it's somebody super, super close to me, there's no way that I'm going to go to ask that question if it's Tony's client. There's just no way. If it was any of your clients, I'm just going to refer them back to Tony and we're done. But if it's somebody who they say, yeah, I'm working with somebody at ABC Realty, and I go, never even heard of them. I don't say that loud. I just kind of just go, hey, that's fantastic. How's that relationship going with them? Are they sending you homes that are kind of fit your price point and your price range? And are you satisfied with them? Oh yeah, totally satisfied. Or then they might say, well, this is where they get a little bit lying. Sometimes they might say, well, I'm not really. I said, you know what?
I just sent Vicky
I
an
want you to
email.
work with that person, but if there's ever an agent of choice, or there's ever I would like to be the next person on your mind, that if there's ever a time where you say, yeah, just isn't working out, would you mind just giving me a call? And I want to be that second one in line is kind of what I want to be. Next agent of choice is what I said. Would you mind if I'm just your next agent of choice? Just because you guys think about that. I mean, how many times have we ever gone to go buy a car, and have we ever gone back and bought the car with the salesperson that introduced you at that dealership first? I'm very, very particular about that. So I will, I actually go to the fleet director himself directly, but I will actually go to the person that I spoke to if I go back to that dealership, because that's just, I know they're all on commission, but not everybody understands that. That's why I like to talk a little bit about agency relationships and who actually pays. All right. Why am I stuck? All right. Okay. So now we are going to come into the mortgage. So what questions do you guys want to ask here? What would you ask?
Are you working with the lender?
Yeah. Do you already have a relationship with the lender?
Yep. I like that. Both of those are good answers. I like the relationship. And if they say no, what are you saying?
Well, let me introduce you to Kaylee and Treya.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Sarah, do you have the same answer?
Yep,
So,
exactly.
So I'm brainwashing them here, guys. Say that one more time. Introduce them to who?
Kaylee and Treya.
Yes, that's it. And so, and then at this moment of stage, I'm actually asking them a little bit about, if they're a first-time home buyer, I'm kind of asking them a little bit about also what type of monies have you guys saved? And this depends on how well this conversation's going. If all of a sudden they're trying every desperate thing to get off the phone with you, I'm not having this. But if I'm 20, 30 minutes on this conversation, I'd say, oh, that's great. That's fantastic, Allie. I'm so excited because I specialize in first-time home buyers. I just share another experience. Sarah, was she a first-time home buyer, Sarah? Yeah. So you share that experience and you go, I just closed this. She was a single gal and I helped her go through this. So if you got a single gal on the line trying to buy a house and she's a first-time home buyer, you better relate both of those stories, Sarah, and say, I just did this and helped this person and she's so excited. And you can actually go, listen or read her review on Yelp about me too. So I said that to somebody yesterday, go look at my Yelp reviews. Well, what's your Yelp page? Boom, there it was. So I said, let me send you a link. So I want to make sure you read it. So, so you want to share that experience. And so I'm sitting there going, great, Sarah, you're a first-time home buyer. That's fantastic. I know let's talk a little bit about mortgage and the pre-approval process. You say you don't have somebody, or you do have somebody. What type of loan program did your lender, if they said they were working with somebody, what type of program did they say you could actually use? And that point, when you ask that question, you're going to see how deep they have a relationship with their lender. Because if they say, I have no idea, then I'm going to ask questions like something like, well, so how much money do you have saved? Because are you doing FHA? Are you doing conventional? And I'm kind of really careful not to say the first question that I ask, well, do you have 20% down? Because that's not really the norm right now. And I don't want people to feel bad that, oh no, I don't even have anything near 20%. So does that mean I'm a bad? Does that mean I'm not a good? Are you not going to work with me? So that's a negative kind of comment. So I'm going to say, so I always start, hey, did they share with you? Are you doing a 0 down, 5%, 10% or more? So how I did that, I didn't make them feel. So if they say, now all of a sudden, Allie says, oh, I got 20. So now Allie just got a positive response, or made it feel like she was not better, but just a better position to purchase. If I say you have 20% down, Allie says, no, I don't have any money. Now all of a sudden, see how that conversation just went slowed and soft and kind of negative. So you kind of want to share that how keep that as a positive thing. So I like to know if they say, yeah, I've got 5% down, great. So then I know that they're probably most likely an FHA, possibly, there might be able to be a conventional loan. So if they say, yeah, I've got somebody who I've spoken to, but I haven't really started the loan process or haven't given them an application yet. So I'm going to share a couple things here. I'm going to say, great, Allie, thank you so much. First off, I want you to know that there are a lot of good agents out there and there's a lot of interesting agents. And the same thing with the mortgage business. There's some really good people. There's some good lenders out there. They're going to be, some of them are going to be all these ads you see that are going to be on, totally like an online lender who's going to brag about this price and brag about this rate. And then you're going to never really speak to the same person more than one time, which is kind of this interesting kind of dilemma that I just have a little pet peeve about. Or you can actually find someone who's a local lender because of our, we discussed already about our fire insurance. You already asked me that question. So these are lenders that are local, boots on the ground, that understand kind of what's going on. Because if you find a lender online, sometimes it's like, septic, well, What are those? You know, those are things that our county, with the rural county, they need to be kind of, it's best to have a local appraiser, local lender to be able to work with a local appraiser at the same time. So I'm kind of sharing that. I never want to steer somebody away from a lender of their choice. You know, I'll even go with the fact, you know, no, I don't really have a lender. So do you, you know, who do you bank with? And they go, well, Wells Fargo or Chase. And I go, you know what, you guys could start there if you wish to do so. But I will tell you that Chase and Wells Fargo, they may only have 1 or 2 loan programs. I've actually recently had somebody who said they didn't get approved by Wells. I sent them over to a loan broker or somebody who can actually help that has more programs for them. And we got them approved and we bought a house. So what I just did is I just moved their subconscious mind off of the big institution over to this, you know, somebody who is also a big company like Stanford with a big backing, but somebody who's got the personal touch. You know, Kaylee, are you there? Or we got notes. Look, they're blowing up the notes.
I'm here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, super answer. Okay, good. So Kaylee, what would you like us to ask? You know, is there any questions or things you would like us to ask that we could like kind of vet them a little bit to help us get to this mortgage thing and get past it?
I mean, you guys can ask as much as you want. We really get in there and ask all the questions. So like all those ones I've been calling, basically it's just down payment, what like price range they're looking in, you know, yeah, I mean, if they have any other properties, there's a lot of stuff that honestly you guys can't ask too, that we can get the information on. But yeah, just, are you pre-approved? Do you have some money to put down? Do you have money for closing? All the basics. That way we have a little bit of an idea of what they're going to be coming in with and what we can qualify them for.
And that's, I know just enough about every little industry of 1031s, just a little bit, just to make me sound like really dangerous. And then I go, you know what, that's a really good question there, Jana. You know, I think we probably should, you should probably save that one for our lender. When they start getting any tax kind of questions and everything, you're just like, wow, that was a little bit deep. So you're basically asking just some questions, getting to know. And if they say, oh, absolutely, please send me your mortgage person, I would love to chat with them. And I also share with them too, as I said, look, you don't want to just call all these people, call 4 or 5 lenders and start having them pull your credit. So, you know, Tim, I want you to be careful with that. Yes, please feel free to call, search around, seek around, look for these people, but just make sure you don't give them your social security number yet and have them pull credit. We are just looking for someone who you feel that you have a relationship with and somebody that you feel that you can trust. I would definitely look at their reviews. I look at everything you want, but these other individual people that are local lenders that I use here locally, I know where they come from. I know their integrity, and that's the people that that you're wanting to seek out and find. So I just kind of twisted that again, said, go for it, go out and feel free to interview people, but my people are the best. So you kind of share that with them and kind of give that thought. So then they'll say yes. So then boom, Kaylee, then I give them Kaylee's information, and then I'm immediately, jumping on the phone, and I'm going to give Kaylee the information of that person. Said, hey, if they don't reach out to you by the end of the day, do you mind giving them a call? And Kaylee's very good at phone calls. Okay.
I will always do that. You can send me anyone. I'll give them a call.
Yep.
If you haven't called them yet and you want some information on them, I can call them for you.
Yeah, and then you could say that too. You could say, you know what, those are some really, really good, deep questions. Do you mind if I just have Kaylee just give you a call right away? And they say, oh yeah, please do. Occasionally they might say, no, I'll reach out to them. So what motivation just happened there if all of a sudden they say, oh, I'll reach out to Kaylee, no worries, I'll reach out to them. So I will still call Kaylee and say, look, if you don't hear from them, they said they would reach out to you, but I want to be proactive here, because it's better to have 2 people, because Kaylee could call somebody that I've sent her and they go, now who was that person? It was Eric Hatch. Well, who's that? And now all of a sudden, wait a minute, they just already forgot my conversation because they spoke to 3 or 4 other agents at the same time. But now Kaylee could come back to me and said, Eric, hey, they forgot about you. You didn't make a lasting impression. So, Kaylee wouldn't be that mean, right? So, but
No, never.
I want Kaylee to tell me that. Okay. So that way now all of a sudden Kaylee's saying my name and I'm saying Kaylee's name. And so now you see what's happening there? You've got 2 people kind of working this deal together that now, if you're still trying to build this relationship, they're going to think of both of us at the same time. All right. So that's mortgage on that one. And then, sorry guys, I'm probably keeping you. Oh my goodness. Yes, we're so late. Okay, appointment. So I want you guys to know that too fast, too quick, you got to book the appointment. And I don't care if they're from the Bay Area and they're saying, oh, thank you so much. And you're saying, okay, I'll send you these homes. I'll send you Kaylee's information. Great. All right, thank you. It's good chatting with you and we'll talk soon. Where's the expectation on there? What you need to set, and that's going to be the next class next week, because we're setting an expectation and we want to execute that expectation. And so what the next thing is to do on your A is get an appointment. Get an appointment and say, hey, Allie, when are you coming to Grass Valley? When are you thinking? And they might say, oh, I'm thinking maybe next week, or yeah, I'm coming tomorrow. If I hadn't asked that and they showed up tomorrow to come up to Grass Valley, what's the likelihood if she was just going to end the conversation right there that we were probably done? So find out when it is. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe 2 weeks. Great. Sarah, Allie in this case, Allie, do you mind if I just give you a call? If you're coming in 2 weeks, I will call you next Friday just to confirm that you're still up for the following week. Would that be okay with you, Allie? Great. I just set an expectation. So Allie's expecting me to call. So when I call Allie, hey, this is Eric Hatcher Century 21. As promised, I'm calling you here on Tuesday, as we discussed, to see if you're coming next week. Yeah, we're still thinking about it. Okay, great. I'll call you next Thursday. I'm gonna send you an email. I'll send you send me some homes that you want to see. So and then I'm gonna call you then. So you're setting an expectation, you're executing it, and then you're going the next one. But I'm jumping a little ahead of myself. So book that appointment. They might say, yeah, I don't know when I'm ever coming back to Grass Valley. Don't worry, you're calling on a house. I'm telling you, you'll be able to write a book on some strange things. All right, so that's what we got, guys, on an LP Mama. So I just wanted to share that with you, and hopefully you learn something that we can do on that. And then you can see all these other fun things that we get to do. We get to see Teslas next week. We get to see pinky promises. So I'm so excited about all this stuff. So just kidding. All right, thoughts, last minute stuff. Anything you guys have questions out? You good?
That was awesome. Thank you.
Ooh, sounds fun, says Treya. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was great.
Was it good? Okay, good. So I have this recorded, so we can just come watch it, over and over and over again about the stuff. So if you have anything that you guys want to add to the LP Mama, or say, hey, I asked this question, it worked really well, feel free over the next several weeks. Just come back and say, hey, I think we should do this, or I think we should do that. Any questions?
I will say I didn't do it, and I regret it. Because I forgot about it, and then I've been dealing with people that are the exact examples I gave.
Yeah, because if we
Go
ahead, Sarah.
I was just going to say, the last open house that I held, I didn't remember everything of the LP Mama, but I remembered a lot of it, and it helped drive 2 conversations of buyers that came in, and one of them I'm now working with and showing them 2 homes tomorrow.
Good, fantastic. That's awesome news.
And they had said that they were, hadn't decided on an agent yet, and they were going around to other open houses and waiting. But because of the information that I was able to get from them, I was able to start a search and then sent them a house and was like, hey, I was looking for you guys. What do you think about this? And they said, don't like this, but we like this. Can we see it? So, yeah.
That's it. So
Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome. So basically, you're giving more service. If you give more service and if they're undecided on an agent and you give more service, they'll see it. They'll totally see it. They'll see the communication. They'll see the follow-up. I followed up with 2 people yesterday. They said, Eric, thank you so much for keep following up. We're not quite ready to meet yet, but I really, really appreciate you following up. What other agents maybe there's other people who just aren't. So hopefully my name just keeps coming to the top and the top and the top. So, we'll, kind of is where you kind of go. But so that is where we're at. So yeah, if you have any questions, you guys, and if you have any suggestions, I know that for the summit, there's several different classes that we could go and teach. So if you guys think that, wow, that was really good, or wow, I really like that, I think we should share that with the whole entire group of Select, and you just let me know which ones you like, and then we'll put that class together up there at the summit, and you guys can sit in the front row and just smile. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. You guys have a great week.
Thank you,
You
Eric.
too.
Welcome.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.